Welcome, everybody, to another episode of the Absolute DMV Podcast. It's your man, Ace Boogie, and I'm here with a few good guys. I'm here with my man, Marc.
Hey, what's going on, everybody?
And my man, eGogh on the boards.
I'm on the boards.
We are joined with special guests today. Special guests.
Yep.
At this point, I'm gonna refer to them as film royalty.
Yes.
We are here with the good brothers, Abdul T. Cisse.
Yep.
And the good brother, Darren C. Murray.
Yo, give it up.
What's up?
DMV owns, production company over here. These guys.
These gentlemen are joining us today, blessing the podcast, because they were able to do something amazing for the DMV, putting it on the map and all over. I mean, they dropping a movie, The Pushover. Gentlemen.
It's already dropped.
Yeah.
Oh, excuse me, my bad. They dropped the movie. I say they dropping. They dropped the movie.
Yeah, it's dropped.
They dropped the movie. It just dropped today on Amazon, gentlemen?
Yeah, Amazon Prime Video, yeah.
Man, tell us a little bit about the movie. What?
Okay, well, The Pushover is about a guy that just got out of a bad relationship. His friends hold intervention in hopes of keeping women from walking all over him. Okay. Hence the name The Pushover, yeah.
Okay.
And so what it is, it's a narrative/documentary where you see guys that are like analyzed by like other people, like whether it was a barbershop, braiding salon. We have a professor at George Washington University, all over. We did it in the East Coast and the West Coast. And pretty much what we do is we have those people analyze the film. We show them different segments of the film where there was conflict. And then from there, we recorded their reactions to the actual scenes that they saw. And then we captured that in the film. Then we encompassed it in the actual film, yeah.
Okay. No, I did like it. I love the way that you guys shot it, because it was very interesting to be half almost like reaction video.
Right.
You know, like that's the best way I can kind of say it. You know, It was like half reaction video, half movie. It brought a little bit of realism and 21st century to it, because normally when you see a movie, you react to it in your own time, and you tend to wonder if other people may have seen it the way I saw it.
Right. Yeah.
And you guys
gave it to them.
Yeah, you gave it to them. You basically allow people to come up with their own thoughts with it, and also see what other people thought about it. And a very, very large group of people. I mean, from like you said, you shot it in two different places. I mean, two different coasts.
Yeah, for sure, yeah.
So I saw that you guys, like you said, you had the professor at GW, then you also had the panel.
Yeah, with the panel, and that was in Valley Village in California, yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Tell me about that. How did you guys come up with that?
Okay, all right, so Darren, there's a film that Darren and I are very fond of. It's by Tim Alexander. It's called Diary of a Tired Black Man, and that came out in 2005. And so he did something similar in terms of the actual format, where you have narrative, you mix narrative with documentary. Right. And so it was more so he was talking about a man that was just tired of a situation and stuff like that. So when we were shooting it, Darren was just like, hey, you know what? We should probably add that kind of element as well, as far as the documentary version of that, and encompass it, and put them intertwine the two worlds. And so that's pretty much like the genesis of that concept.
Okay.
Yeah, I think when it comes to filmmaking, I specialize mostly in the documentary aspect. I've always been that type of person that just loves documentaries. So like when Abdul did his concept, I was like, you know what, it would be really dope to get somebody to just speak on it. You know what I mean? Like
speak on the movie or speak on this actual,
yeah. You know what I mean? So
I think that was really cool, because as a viewer, you have this movie based around sort of, relationships and in the heat of the moment interactions and how it's being viewed by people. You know, the people in the movie itself and then the people reacting to the movie. And I thought that was really cool as a viewer of both of those different pools of reactions to sort of see, as a viewer, you know, there's different perspectives. People in the movie have different perspectives. Even the reaction people are siding with different people for different reasons. So as a viewer, it's kind of cool to see, you know, that your side is validated because everyone's going to react to a certain way. People are going to agree to a certain extent with one side, to another side, to a certain extent. They might not agree with anyone on one side at all, but it's kind of cool because everybody's reaction was kind of covered by someone in that. So that was a cool way as a viewer to sort of be like, oh, I identify with this reactor person because no, they're right on the money. No, this person's totally wrong. You know, like that was cool to see.
Thank you. And and the purpose of that was to like to create discussion, to have like water cooler talk. Mm-hmm. So even like when we had our screenings in LA, we had like a red carpet in LA, and then we had a red carpet out here in DMV in Greenbelt. While the film was going on, you could hear people talking and chattering in between, different scenes because of it. Because of the documentary portion, it was the catalyst for discussion, and that's what the purpose was: is to generate discussion.
Genius.
No, and it definitely did. That. No, it definitely did because, like I said, the way it was shot with reaction video wise, it gave you something to think about or comment on, because you got to comment on the movie, like the actual film portion, and you got to comment on the commenters. Right,
yeah.
So you know what I'm saying? So it was like, it was just one of those things where it was like, this is a very, very cool way of it being shot. There was some things about the movie I liked, and there was some things about the movie I didn't like. And not to say I didn't like, I was just like...
Reality.
I just wonder... It was left open-ended.
Okay, got you. Okay.
And somebody like me, I like to critique things. I like to break things down.
Got you.
So what I liked about it the most is it actually is almost like an educational video.
Right.
It's something for the young man out there to understand, hey, this is... what you need to do in certain in your relationship. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? This is what you need to do in your relationship. Set standards, set boundaries.
Yes.
Because if you do that, you stand less of a chance of these things happening to you.
Exactly. Yeah.
So I definitely like that, because even to see it wasn't shot with young men.
Right,
it was shot with older gentlemen, so,
right.
you know, not even older gentlemen, but gentlemen our age.
Right.
So, you know what I'm saying? And if younger people to see that, they was like, damn, they going through that too? Yeah, man, everybody going through it.
Right,
you know what I'm saying? So it was a very relatable thing. It was a very relatable movie.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
Thank you.
I definitely like the way y'all did that. But one of my open-ended questions, one of the things that left me open-ended with the movie was... how come you guys did not show the woman's point of view?
Okay. All right. So, and you know what? And that
shout out to the ladies. I'm going to hold y'all down real quick. Because when you see the movie, y'all going to understand why you don't need to be held down. But I'm going to hold y'all down real quick.
So, and that's a great question, and I appreciate that. So, we have a lot of films, right, that, or even podcasts, whatever the case may be, that speaks from a woman's point of view, right? And so this was something that I was like, well, let me see from a guy's point of view. So this film, I actually wrote the screenplay back in 2011. No. Yeah, 2011. I wrote it in 2011, and it was actually like my very first script. And it was based on people that I knew personally that went through similar, not exactly, but similar situations. Even me, to a certain point, went through similar relationships in previous relationships where I was like, where's that voice for that male that needs that light shine on that person, right? And so today, they call it, the pushover, they call it a simp, right?
Yeah.
So it's just speaking through that lens, opposed to just saying, all right, because if you ask like majority of men, they'll be like, I run things, all this bravado, but there are people that go through it, and it could be because you're in a relationship and you love the girl so much and you let certain things slide. It could be a situation where you moved into a woman's place, and because it's her place, you have to hold your tongue on certain things. It's so many different factors and variables that you could look at, and they're not touched upon. So that's why I wrote it. Yeah.
Okay.
And I think that it was really cool to see also that obviously the panels of people who are reacting, a lot of them is very mixed. So you have, both male and female perspectives in there.
Right.
And it was kind of cool to see the difference of just how many, females were siding with, the male protagonist in the story, and sort of seeing like, well, that situation is crazy, or he should have done this, or he should have done what they're saying, but in this way.
Right.
So it's very cool to see that different perspective. I think that, there were some scenes in there that were really cool and spoke to a lot, not just sort of being sort of pushed over, but also just sort of a toxic relationship and like how to set boundaries in that.
Exactly.
And when something's toxic, when is the limit of like a boundary? Because you don't want it to get too far where then it's a blow up reaction, but like where's the gentle boundary?
Exactly.
I think while we were filming it, there was one scene, and I don't want to get too much into it, but there was one scene that was happening, and I was like, is this realistic? And even when I was cutting it, it was really over the top. And I talked to Abdul on the phone, and I was just like, yo, are you sure this happens, man? Like,
So
you know what I'm saying?
it's weird because didn't we just talk like that?
Bro, no, the funniest part is I'm looking at him
Uh-huh.
and I'm like, I know what part you're talking about.
Yep, see?
And I hope we're
literally
on the
talk
same
about it.
because there was one part of the movie where homie was going ape, yo. And I was just like,
at the end of the movie.
and I was just like, I was just looking at it like, bro, it can't go down like this.
Right,
But this
right.
and but
That's
it's
how I
funny,
was
but
feeling.
it needed. But the funniest part about it is it needed to go down like that
Yes.
for
another way,
given the
see another way.
situation that he was going through and how he needed to set these
Like,
boundaries.
he was just taking a serious L in that scene.
Yeah.
I was just like- and it was so flagrant
Oh my!
Yeah.
in front of everybody. I was just like,
No,
dang.
bro. I was, and that was the one, and that was okay. That's the main thing I didn't like.
Right. Right.
That I was just like, yo, y'all picked the three most egregious
Right.
a woman could do to a man.
Right.
Like,
That's how I felt
Like-
when I was cutting it. And, I mean, like I said, I read the script and I was just like, damn, that's crazy, man. And then just shooting it and then seeing it in front of your face.
bro.
And then after that, you have to cut it to make it look so good, but like so over the top. I mean, I was proud of what I did and what we did.
Right.
But I was just like, dang,
No,
Nah, it was
crazy, yo.
So y'all did a great. That's what I'm saying. Y'all did a great job because that's the part of that's. I feel like that's the great part about filmmaking that people tend to forget is that filmmaking, storytelling is meant to evoke emotion.
Yes.
So the fact that I didn't like things
Yeah.
and then I did like things
Yeah.
lets me know that y'all did the job that you were supposed to do. Because
Thank
if
you.
it
Yeah.
just would have been one solid emotion of, you know what I'm saying? Because
Sad.
that's why I was like, that's why I said I didn't like it because it was so egregious what she was doing that it was like, bro, we have to be against her. Like, you know what I'm saying?
You know what I'm saying?
Like, we have to
That's
be
how I was
against her.
feeling.
And that's why I even led with the first question of why didn't you tell it from the woman's side? Because what she was doing was so crazy that
it was.
that we had to see her side. Like it had to be
right.
I know.
like people just don't act like this just to be like this.
But you know what? I'm gonna tell you. Okay, I know situations
Okay.
that are worse.
Oh shit.
Personally, and when I say personally, I'm not talking about like me, but stories that I've heard.
Yeah.
People getting locked up because of.
Yeah.
I mean, it gets real. Like,
Yeah.
so when Darren was telling me, and that scene about that you're talking about, Darren was like, "Did this happen?" I was like, "Yo, I know things that are worse.
Yeah.
Worse." So what I'm talking about is like stuff that's kind of toned down from what I actually, because I could not put things in that from because people told me things in confidence. I couldn't put that in the film. But like, oh, yo, why he do me like that?
He didn't want to go.
But
He
I'm saying,
didn't want to go
I know
gutter on
things,
it.
situations, scenarios.
He didn't want to go. He didn't want to go BET.
Yeah.
He want to keep it. He want to keep. He want to get.
What was the movie? The Best Man.
Yeah.
Where the homie wrote the book.
Yeah.
Everybody knew what was going on in the book.
I can't have one of those
Is it the
scenarios.
Best Man, your homies.
Yeah, so I'm not gonna out anybody, and
That's
it's like
funny.
there's scenarios that I kid you not that you would not believe. You would not believe, and you would just be like, "Yo, why did he let this happen?" But because of that situation, being in love, and maybe they don't. Maybe the other person's the breadwinner, and then he feels like he has to hold his tongue because he doesn't. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
I've seen situations bad, bro. I'm talking about bad.
It's like the choosing to ignore stuff and prioritizing other stuff. And then it's almost like it speaks to, I think anybody can identify with it, regardless of like if you're in a relationship or if you're single, or if you're male or you're female, because it's almost like when someone says something that bothers you, and in that moment you don't react to it or check it, you have that moment when you get home and you're driving home being like, damn, that really bothered me.
I should have said something. Yes.
That really pissed me off.
Yeah.
And then you have that self-loathing a bit because you're like, I should have stuff up for myself. I should have said something.
Yes.
Even if it wasn't like checking a full thing, I should have just set some type of boundary. So it's kind of like being a pushover, getting pushed over.
In this case, I should have punched that motherfucker in his mouth.
Yeah.
That scene was egregious, right? Like it's crazy because that's the only word I can think of.
Right.
It's just egregious because I'm like, I don't know how as a man you sit back and calmly deal with that.
Right.
Like because that's like I said. Half the time I was watching the movie, I was like, "This guy isn't a pushover. He's a cold bitch."
Right.
Straight
But
up.
you know what? See, so okay, back to what you were saying about evoking emotion, right? So when you're writing a narrative and it's fiction, right? It's fictional, but it's based off of things that could happen or could. You have to embellish it, right? You have to embellish a bit, right? Mm-hmm. So there are certain things that, like I said, I've seen things and have heard of things that are worse, but there's certain things where in order for the story to work, he has to be this passive type of guy where it builds up. And then, the situations where, he may or may not be out of work and he's got to kind of hold it and he's kind of holding his tongue. So there's certain things that's happening in that situation where he may want to do something, but he just like, this might get out of hand. You know what I'm saying? So that's so again, it's a bit of a embellishments, but at the same time, it's it's supposed to evoke a feeling. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And the feeling is like whether it's angst or whether it's you're upset with him for not stepping up. You're upset with her for going too hard on him. Wherever that may be, that's what I want. I want a reaction. I want a reaction. So if you don't rock with him, you don't rock with her. You like him, you don't like her. You're sympathetic to her. You whatever. I want to hear all of it, and I want to hit all those chords.
And I think that's how you cut it. I mean, I don't know if you and Darren, you pretty much, even when you were talking about the hand, how you cut to the hand grabbing and they would walk with hands. I was like, this mother.
Yeah, because I was like, see, they did that on purpose.
Yeah, like how they grab hands on purpose. Like, yo, come with me. Come to my,
That's mad wild.
That's the thing about, like, I see what you did. You did a lot of cuts, like, around to make it, like, all right, This motherfucker. Yeah. And then even Alan, like I said, even the person who actually played Mike, he's really good. Like
Alvin Gray, yeah.
Alvin Gray, and like I said, give big ups to him. He's been in, he's been in what, The Wire.
He's in The Wire?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he said he's been in The Wire. He's been in, I don't know if he was a kid or whatever. When he said, like I said, he told me that. And like I said, I was like, oh, that's cool.
I don't know how.
He's a filmmaker, though. He's like, he has a lot of films.
Yeah.
He has a lot of films.
Oh, yeah, what's her name?
Hold on, I don't know how y'all were able to keep the raps on Desi.
Uh,
That's, to me, I felt like was going to be the hardest part. Because once I seen Desi in the promos,
yeah.
I was like, oh, now he about to act a fool.
Right.
Y'all were able to keep him,
Keep him calm.
keep him calm without having him take over the movie, turn it into a comedy.
Right.
He was able, shout out to Desi Banks, man. I mean, not Desi Banks, my phone, damn.
Desi Alexander.
Desi Alexander.
Yeah.
My bad, Desi. Shout out to Desi Alexander, man, because, he did a really great job with that. Very relatable character.
Right.
In my friend group, I'm quite critical of this movie because it was a 4-man friend group. I have a 4-man friend group the same way.
Got you.
One of the things I didn't like.
Yeah, go ahead.
Was y'all but see, it had to happen because I'm also a no movie type guy.
Right.
My brain is always set up to be like, oh, see, now if this would have happened, it'd be no movie.
Right.
So that's why sometimes I'm like, you gotta shut up, bro, because there has to be a movie.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
And I know exactly what you talk about.
I'm like, how y'all even let it get this far as a friend group?
Right.
But there's no way that as me and my friends, we would have let it get that far to the point that everybody had a story.
It's like it has to be embellished too hard.
And that's what I'm saying.
To have the story.
That's what I'm saying. That's why. And once again, that's why I'm like, I loved, as much as there was stuff I liked and I didn't like, I loved the storytelling. It did what it was supposed to do. I wanted more. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I really wanted more because I wanted, like I said, I wanted to see the woman's point of view.
Right.
I wanted to see the kind of the whole relationship, how it started.
Right.
Because one of the things I wanted to see was, nigga, how you even get this girl if she don't even like you for real?
Right.
So I need to know if you had the job, if you had the money,
right?
And she was like.
Down.
Obviously he wasn't.
I know. Oh yeah.
Okay, so to answer that, there's a thing in writing that's called it's and it's usually specifically for like scenes, right? So it says start in the middle, and then you end it. Start in the middle and then you end it. So basically, like example. All right, I'm calling you Ace, right? I'm calling you Ace, and I'm like, hey, what's up, Ace? How are you doing? And you're like, hey, what's up, Abdul? How are you doing? Blah blah. Like, no, we're gonna start from the middle of the conversation. We're gonna start the scene in the middle of the conversation.
Right.
So I'm like, so what? So what are you gonna do about it? That's how. So in this scene, the correlation I'm drawing now is things have they've gone to like whatever the history was. Whatever the backstory was, whatever it led up to that, we're in the middle now. We're in the middle of it's over. The relationship is, you know what I'm saying? And that's how we start the story. And so I understand you would like to have like a backstory, but like, well, what did he do to make her feel this way? And what did he do where she feels like she can carry him that way, but at the same time, it's like we started at the middle so we could tell the story. Because if we go all the way back to how that happened, then it's like, okay, well, maybe we need a prequel or whatever the case may be.
No, I mean, to me, I feel like y'all are just set up for you set off for a couple spinoffs. Like, once again, you set off for the women's point of view.
Right.
You set off for the prequel.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You can be set off for the sequel to see how he treats his next girl.
Right.
Like, you know what I'm saying?
Excellent.
You know what I'm saying? I'll take a little writing credit if you got one.
And actually, I'm actually working on the Pushover 2 right now.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm working on that now.
Congrats.
So like it's gonna be a little different, but again, like I said, I wrote this in 2011.
I told you,
So
back
it was
in the
like,
day, yeah.
it was my very first script. So like where I am now is like leaps and bounds further as far as thought process, understanding writing, even like how we shot it. Like we know what we need to do to even improve it, to make it even better. You know what I'm saying? Cinematically. So there's a lot of things that it's just it's stepping stones, and we're just taking our time to like learn from how we can improve, like learn and see how we can improve and just become better filmmakers in general. So it's gonna aesthetically, it's gonna look better, and it's gonna sound better. The storyteller is gonna be even better. It's gonna be a lot more other nuances to it to make it just a better film altogether. Yeah.
Nice.
No,
And
definitely.
I think another thing you gotta understand with Abdul is he's an extreme guy when it comes to telling stories. You know? There's no like subtlety. It always has to be something like extreme.
Nah, bro.
You know what I mean?
Nah, bro.
Yeah,
I think
We
that's one of the
African,
big,
bro. We got to tell a big story.
I think that's one of the big reasons.
Yeah, that's what Afro.
Yeah.
That's what all the Nigerian like movies. Everything has to be big.
Yeah.
But I think that's one of the reasons why it turned out the way it is, because that's part of Abdul's personality. He wants to drive home his point really hard. So I think that's one of the reasons why the movie was like that. I mean, I've known Abdul since like 96, 97.
Wow.
Dang.
You know what I mean?
Dang.
So I know where he's coming from. Like the time when I was just like, yo, you sure, Abdul? He's like, yo, I'm telling you, man. And I was like, okay. All right. You know what I'm
Great.
saying?
It's gonna be epic.
Yeah,
It's gonna be
you know
all.
what I mean?
And also D Murray, you had some stuff that you were working on. As you said, you were talking about the documentary stuff.
Yes.
There's a little projects you actually done, as well. You could talk about that a little bit.
About a year ago, I went to Mali, Africa, and I was there to really show the process of handmade jewelry and leather goods. So we were originally supposed to go to Timbuktu, but unfortunately in Mali, in the northern part, it's like really dangerous. So we settled in the southern part of Mali, and we were straight up in the desert.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was like 102 degrees. Wow.
Y'all wearing
it was wild. I was in my original garb and everything, and
Dope.
sweating, but not because of the garb.
No,
garb
because it was hot.
thin.
Yeah.
That's
just the
that's
heat.
something that people don't know about. It's like, just because you're wrapped up doesn't mean that you're hot.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's
Linen.
extremely. Yeah, there you go.
Linen people.
There
Yeah. People.
you go.
Fine
Am-
linens.
Americans don't understand linen.
Yeah.
No.
Unless you're in the Caribbean.
Yeah,
Where you going on
But once
trips.
again, that's not American. You're in
I know,
the
like I
Caribbean.
said, they're
that's
going
what
on
I'm saying.
trips,
You
so, like,
don't understand.
Americans just appreciate linen for like bed sheets and stuff.
Yeah.
My wife
Real
is from
talk.
Brazil, so like when we got married down there, I wore a linen suit because it was hot.
What part of Brazil?
She's from Sao Paulo, or the state of Sao Paulo. Jacareí is the city. It's like a suburb of Sao Paulo.
Nice. I have a
Certain love of that.
Yeah, I got a love for Brazil. I mean,
Oh, nice.
people that have been, they know how beautiful Brazil is, man.
Yeah.
The weather, the
amazing.
women, everything.
Shot
everything.
some good stuff down. Some good content down there.
Some good
I didn't shoot
content.
anything. I just kept everything in the memory. You know what I mean?
Nothing to incriminate himself.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
I'm gonna keep this right here.
Old school. Old school. I like it.
Every time when Brazil is brought up, I like light up. I'm like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
I need to go.
It's-
I need to
it's
go. I
beautiful.
don't know, for some different reasons though.
Now, I know. I'm about to say.
You know
I
me.
gotta say,
You know me.
If you come from a certain time period, Brazil is very important to you.
Yes.
And however you want to take that, however you want to understand that, that's on you.
And for everybody that,
But yeah,
yeah, for people that don't know, Rio is not
Brazil.
It's not the only
Yeah.
spot in Brazil.
Yeah.
There's so many other places you
So
can
many.
go to
Yeah.
that are just as beautiful.
so many.
But I digress. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, there's other places to check.
I mean,
out.
it's a big country.
No,
It's
so-
big.
Huge. It's
So,
huge.
but Darren, you said you were working on.
Yes.
You're working on what?
Yeah, this is a documentary called The Art of Friendship.
Okay.
And as far as like the documentary, we pretty much was pretty much checking out all the people, like the Tuareg people. Like before before I started the project, I didn't know anything about the Tuareg people. The Tuareg people are folks that are actually I'm sorry. But yeah, these are nomadic people in Mali, Algeria. Like, it's huge. The whole area is full of Tuareg people.
Like the Northern Africa and Northeastern type thing. Yeah. That's what's up.
So yeah, I mean, I was just there, and I made sure I showed everybody what they do out there, as far as the arts and everything, and it was awesome.
How many generations too, man?
8 generations.
Wow.
Yeah.
8 generations.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
That's dope.
yeah, and we stayed there for about 6 days, and we just looked at the process on how they made handmade jewelry and leather goods. Like they melted the steel, they melted silver, and just made rings and earrings, and it was crazy, man.
And all by hand.
And I
right?
was about to say,
hand.
all by hand.
No
Yeah, 'cause they got
machines, nothing.
No
Yeah.
machines,
That's
nothing.
crazy.
That's dope.
Yeah.
That's dope.
If we went back.
Nah, man, what's it called? When's that gonna drop?
It's already,
It's out right now.
It's out right
Oh,
now.
It's
wow.
out right now.
yeah, we'll
Oh,
put the
okay.
link. We'll put the link on the,
Yeah,
the
we
video.
gonna link them all up. Yeah, link them all up.
So it's out in the sense of it's in festivals right now. So like within a year or so, it will be out.
Okay.
It'll definitely be out.
Okay, nah. So yeah, we got. If we, like you said, if we got a link, we
Yeah,
can link
we'll
it
put
up.
it up there. You know, all the
Link
info,
it up, yeah.
all the D Murray info will be up on the link.
Yeah,
You want to
yeah.
talk about regays?
Arigo is strong.
Yeah, go ahead,
Yeah,
man.
it's still early. It's still
There you go. Abdul try to leak
We gonna have to
some
bring you
stuff.
back then. We gonna have to bring you back then.
I'm gonna put it on you.
yeah. But nah, I mean, it's coming. It's coming.
But Abdul, so you got anything?
Yeah.
You said Pushover 2, but
yeah.
anything else?
Yeah, so I have several scripts, right? So I have a drama series that that I already have the pilot for. I'm writing some episodes to that. It's gonna be pretty dope. I have a full feature. It's a romantic comedy, and it's I can't say the names right now, but it's gonna be it's so we're gonna be actually. The plan is to start shooting it in like December, maybe January. And what we're going to do is we're going to shoot a proof of concept. So it's going to be a short film where we're going to extract like key points and stuff, like so people can understand what the film is about. And then from there, we're going to use that as a catalyst to for funding, you know, so we can shoot the full feature. But that's going to be pretty dope. And then I got so many other things that I've written that, you know, and these are things that I've written, like, you know, like 2020, 22, 2021 and all that stuff in 2023, currently 2024 that I've written, where you could see like my thought process and like how deep I get as far as like when it comes to writing, you know, the complexities and the intricacies of like my writing and stuff. So yeah.
Word.
Yeah.
That's dope.
Yeah.
So for the Pushover, you said you wrote it in 2011.
Yes, yeah.
When did you? Because I'm guessing there's two segments to the filming. Basically, you filmed the actual movie, and then you filmed the different reaction videos.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. So okay. All right. So I wrote it in 2011.
Okay.
It was
got it.
November in 2011. In 2015, I was like, "Hey, Darren, let's shoot something." You know what I'm saying? And so it was a short. That's what it was. It was a short. And, you know, at that time, I didn't know anything about structure, formatting, or anything for like, because there's a certain format that you have to have when you're writing a screenplay. So like how I wrote it was just like how you would write like a play in like elementary, junior high. You would like the name, colon, dialogue, name, colon, dialogue.
Yeah.
Brackets, that's the action, and that's not how you're supposed to write a screenplay. So that was the first script, and I was like, yo, so in 2015, I was like, yo, Darren, let's let's shoot it. But before we did that, we had like a table read in DC, in Northeast DC. We were at the library, and it was a bunch of friends of mine and some people that I didn't know, that another person of mine that I knew, he brought everyone together. And so we we did a table read. And so after that, I was like, oh wow, okay. And then I revamped it a bit. And then from there, like later on in 2015, we started shooting. But when we were shooting at that point in time, we had the DSLR cameras and everything. And, you know, I had just bought these RE lights, because these were like studio, like film studio lights. And I got them used and everything. And it was like these $1,000 lights. And we were so excited. We're like, yo.
Still do damage with DSLRs.
Yeah. For sure. So, and we didn't know what we were doing. Like, so we didn't know how to light things up. So we just had like the lights blasting on us, like not on us, but on the cast and everything. And I got people like from work, co-workers and stuff like that, and next door neighbor, and was like, hey, come on, we're gonna do a film, and we were shooting it, and it looked like a game show or something. Like the lighting was just bad, you know what I'm saying? It just looked bad, you know what I'm saying? And
it was a learning experience.
Yeah, it was a learning experience, right? And so we did that in 2015. A couple people fell off, whatever. Then we recasted it with my man James E. Ingram, and then we shot in 2016. And then from there, and James E. Ingram, he's actually in the film. He's the guy that plays Marc. He's like the best friend of Mike. So anyway, we shot it, and it fell through again, because it was just like certain people were, you know, like when someone's doing you a favor, when people feel like they're doing you a favor, that they might be like, they're on their own time, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So they're like, yeah, I'll get there, and all those things.
Yeah,
so,
I mean, it was a budget. It was a budget situation. I think we were just so hell-bent on doing this idea, and we were just like, yo, let's just get some bodies that just want to do this. And after a while, we were over it. We were just like, all right, I think we've graduated, and we've hit our head against the wall, and we're just like, all right, we got to get actors for this. You know what I mean? Like, the people that were there, they loved us, and we loved them for them just wanting to help us, but they weren't actors.
Facts.
You know what I mean?
So sometimes you just need that.
Yeah. So we had to get serious about the concept, and we just stopped doing it. And I want to say years later, Abdul was like, yo, did 2 short films.
No, we did 2 short films.
Yeah, we did.
Eric helped on all of them, though. Eric helped on all of them.
That's right.
Yeah. This guy, shout this guy out.
So
get his head bigger than it already. Yeah.
So I'm on the boards.
So I want to say Abdul was just being a family man for a while, and he retooled. You know, he got more equipment, he got more lights, and he was just like, yo, let's start doing things again. So we started doing things. We did our first short film. We did a second short film. And then when we got those 2 under our belts, he was like, guess what? He's like, we're going to do the Pushover again. I was like, serious, man? He's like, nah, man.
You lie.
Yeah, he was like, nah, man, we got to get different actors. And I was just like, facts, man. We got to do
rebuild.
But he was hell-bent on doing it, because he was just like, yo, I know it's a good story, and we got to execute this.
And it is a great story. Ladies and gentlemen, thank y'all for coming through. Thank y'all for coming through.
No,
thank
definitely,
y'all for blessing us with the Pushover out on Amazon.
Yes.
You guys check it out right now. Go see it right now.
Check it out now.
If you don't have an Amazon account,
Go steal somebody's.
Steal
Hit
somebody.
up your neighbor.
I don't know.
Hit up your friend.
Make sure you rate it. Rate it 5 stars.
Yeah, rate everything
That's
5
right.
stars so we can get money.
Hey,
We just got money.
if you like the Pushover, comment, subscribe. Let us know how you feel about it.
Put it on the comments. They'll
These-
respond back.
These gentlemen will also be here. They will also be checking the comments to see what y'all got to say. Tell them you love it. Tell them you hate it. whatever it is.
right.
They want the feedback.
We want the raw. We want the raw.
Yeah,
We want
same way we
engagement.
want the feedback. So
Yeah, absolute DMV.
Darren
guys.
C. Murray,
Yes.
Abdul T.C. Say,
Yes.
gentlemen, thanks again.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Hey,
for having
thank you,
us.
gentlemen. Appreciate y'all.
Absolutely.
Hey, man, it was a
We'll do
pleasure.
better next
Yeah, yeah.
time.
Pleasure.
All right. Peace.
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 Peace.